What's up, guys, and welcome to BitCast, episode 125 for the month of October 2024. I'm your host, Jake Martin, and I'm joined as always by my good friend, handy dandy Landry Smith. What's up, dude?
What's up, Jake, man? Good to see you, brother.
Has that rhyming alliteration ever been used, or just like that rhyme?
Honestly, I was like, man, that fits so well. I don't know if anyone's ever said that before.
Handy dandy Landry.
Sure, it's happened before.
What do you consider yourself a handy person?
Oh, not at all. Like, I'm actually the least handy person ever. YouTube has actually made me decent to where, I can watch a video and figure things out. But I'm one of those guys where I'm going to mess something up first and then I'll figure it out.
Without a doubt. Every time I try to go fix a project, I watch the video like before and I'm like, this looks doable. Like, I think I can do this. And then I get into it and something is not as easy as the guy in the video made it look like.
Oh, dude.
And I get so mad so fast.
Same. I get really angry. I have to make sure children aren't around because I will swear at least multiple times.
I have become my father. Like, that's like his go-to move. Like, he'll start a project. He loves doing projects too. It's like it's his whole thing. It's his love language. When he comes over to stay with us, like my mom just chills and then he's like, what projects can we do? And he just starts fixing stuff, which is great. But then, 10 minutes in, he's pissed and he's cursing and he's like yelling about something. And I'm like, all right.
Well, those stories make me feel better as, a dad. Because, I think that's just dads finding their way,
That's right. And I think, honestly, we're giving our children a good and honest idea of what a project is going to feel like. We're not making it this fun, exciting thing. It's like, this is going to make you mad. If you're not mad while doing this, then I don't know, you're doing it wrong.
It's a good
probably.
Parallel to life too. Like, you're going to fail probably a lot before you have success in life.
Yeah. And just drop some curse words while you're at it. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all, we are not talking about home projects. We're talking about video games. So today, if you haven't tuned in before, we are talking about our topic of the month, which is aging with gaming. And then we go into our Game and Watch series, which is us looking at October, how games performed, and just any overall thoughts on which ones we felt like deserved it, which ones didn't deserve it, Game of the Month Club, and then name that game music. A little bit of housekeeping. If you are a fan of the show, please write into us, leave reviews. We appreciate that. I don't check the reviews very much. I should do that more. If you have left a review, thank you very much for doing that. And if you write into us, we always like reading those things off. So please do so.
I'm going to check the reviews. All right? I'm going to check the reviews first.
Do it, man.
Ever.
Do it. But yeah, you can send emails to bitcast@bitbloggist.com. I'll get those and we'll read them off on the show. Let's jump over to the topic of the month. All right. So Landry, you and I just podcasted with Mark yesterday.
What a great time that was.
What a great time. And another great thing that I should mention that we've mentioned on this podcast before, but I'm very thankful for the Game Boys group chat. Shout out if those guys are listening.
It's so much fun.
It's so fun. It's our personal Twitter feed now. We can jump in and feel like we're still getting some discourse, but it's much healthier and it's people that we know and enjoy talking to. So it's always fun. But we get some fun rants or just conversations going in that chat. And last week I was pretty down. I was a little downtrodden, a little depressed, thinking about nostalgia. And I went down this path of, how nothing feels new. And if you want to listen to that kind of topic, check out Quick Play Podcast by Mark. I'll link that in the show notes. You guys can listen to it there. But we talked about how nothing feels new. And along the same lines, Landry and I are going to be talking about aging with gaming. And so, like, in particular, when you're young, everything is new and there's so much to explore and experience. And then having been a gamer now for 25 plus years, I've been feeling like things are iterative, not generation defining. And I want to talk to you, Landry, specifically about how like our habits have changed, nostalgia versus like actually good games, like if that's a thing, and shared experience, like all kinds of stuff. We'll get into these topics. So I guess top of the list, Landry, for you, new stuff doesn't hit the same as it used to. at least for me. Do you feel the same way?
I do feel the same way. And I think that's only natural to an extent. And we talked a lot about how we may have just been at this kind of peak of gaming where everything kind of shifted and a lot of new experiences were just like so new that they kind of blew our minds. But I think there's also something about being a child and experiencing so many different genres and so many different things for the first time. So you may pick up a Gex and think it's the best game of all time because you've never played anything in that genre that's better than it, you know? And now, since we have so much experience, we pick up, a fairly good game like an Assassin's Creed, and we have so many criticisms of it, it's not like blowing our minds.
That is Gex. I'm so glad you brought Gex into this conversation because I remember playing that game and thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, "Whoa,
same dude!
I can freaking stick." Wait, hold on. I'm thinking of a different game. I'm thinking of Chameleon Twist. Did you ever play that game?
I never did, but I've always wanted to. I've been intrigued by it.
Sorry, another lizard where you're on the 64, but the whole concept of that game was, I think, to stick your tongue out and it would like harden, and then you could like twist around poles and stuff and like platform that way.
Oh, and that's on Switch Online now, I'm pretty sure.
Are you serious right now? Chameleon Twist is?
I'm pretty sure it just came like a couple weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. I got to get back in there.
I was playing a game that looked very similar to that. Or sounds It sounds like what you just said, and I think it has a chameleon on the cover.
All right. I think it has a chameleon on the cover. We'll check it out. But I love what you kind of talked about, like how everything is new at a certain point. And it goes back to this, like the idea of childlike wonder. I think there is something to be said for that, where when you play a video game for the first time, it's your first time ever seeing something like that. And because we've been gaming for so long, even if a game is doing something sort of new, we've played something else that had that mechanic or had that element in there or had that world or that design or that weapon or that kind of character. So now you get all these new games coming out, but it's like, I feel like I've seen this before, or I've heard this kind of character, or this is the same kind of storyline or side quest that I've done in like 10 other games already. And so I was starting to kind of feel down. But also, I think I want to push this into like more of an appreciation where it's like, okay, things may not be new. That's okay. And nostalgia is a hell of a drug. It colors things in a way that makes them seem like they were actually better back in the day. But it's like I don't think they were. If you try to tell somebody today to go back and play an N64 game, they're gonna be like, "This game's not good. Like this game's hard to play. Like the graphics are good. It's laggy. It's kind of obtuse."
Well, we didn't have anything better back then, and also at the same time, it was groundbreaking when it came out. So.
Mm-hmm. So nostalgia can kind of color those experiences because, again, we were experiencing them at a time that was new and exciting. And now that we've kind of grown into these old curmudgeonly calloused gamers, it's hard to be excited about some things. But another part of this is, I think, when you're younger, gaming habits versus like when you're older are very, very different. So to you, Landry, how have your gaming habits changed from, like, I don't know, when you first started gaming to now?
Well, so they've kind of come full circle because when I first started gaming, my mom and dad would let me play like 15 minutes at a time. And and then I got a little older and it was like 30 minutes a day. And then, but it was not like I could play every day. Like sometimes they'd just be like, nope, no video games tonight. Go read a book or something, which I'm so thankful for because now I like to read and, I had to find other ways to entertain myself.
Right.
And I've been able to maintain some, semblance of a creative mind because of that. But that's kind of the way I game now is I pick up 15-minute chunks where I can,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of there, and like the very end of the night, usually like after we get done with this podcast, I'm probably going to get in bed, and until it's 10:45, which is like my hard bedtime, I'm going to play video games. So
dude, that is hilarious. I love how you brought that to being full circle. That actually hurts to think about because I'm in the same boat. But in my mind, yeah, you go from basically not being able to play at your house, but sleepovers, if you go to a friend's house, you're playing all night. You're staying up as late as you can playing the newest game you rented from Blockbuster, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that is another element in our like how gaming habits change and impact how we experience them. Because like I remember when, Twilight Princess came out on the Wii. I had to wait for the Wii version because I wanted that one.
Same.
I got I got Twilight Princess, the box, the game first. Didn't have the Wii. So I literally was just looking at the box art.
That is so... Like, I never had the discipline to do that. I've never done that before.
Just looking at the pamphlet, I was like, oh man, this is going to be so good when I can play this. I was so excited. Like, I knew that pamphlet like the back of my hand. But then I played Twilight Princess when I got the Wii finally. And I remember like, it felt like all day. I literally was just playing that game all day. And it was so fun playing it. Like I just couldn't pull myself away. But then when I finally did, I was very fatigued. Like I felt almost sick.
Yeah. I talked about my childhood, but there are definitely like in my teenage years, there were those days where I did that. And that's actually like when The Last of Us Part 2 came out.
Oh yeah.
It was around
COVID.
It was Father's Day. And I was like, Liz, I don't want anything for Father's Day. I just really, because we had just done like a big like to do for her on Mother's Day. I can't remember. And she's like, what do you want? Anything you want? And I was like, I just want to play Last of Us all day long. Like take the kids, maybe go to grandma's or something. I just want to play Last of Us Part 2 from like AM to PM. And that's what she let me do. And man, I was the same. I got done. Like I played for like 3 hours and I just don't have that stamina anymore. And like every hour and a half or so, I had to take a break and like take a walk or something,
Yeah. Yeah. You can't keep up anymore. Like if I do a long gaming sesh, I feel it. Like I'm still enjoying my time, but like I wake up, I get off the couch achy and I'm like, my eyes are like bloodshot. And I'm like, oh, that was, I need to take a break.
Yeah. I feel like a cartoon character, like a caricature of a person who's doing terrible things to themselves.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. But I think just like, again, going back to like the childhood element of like having my Game Boy on me at all times and having my friends who would always also have their Game Boys. Like it was like a common shared thing that you were expected to have your Game Boy Color to trade Pokemon at any minute, like in our neighborhood, like just always have it on you. And I think that's like, we're kind of there with like phones. Like we can still do that with our phones and play Pokemon Go and stuff like that. Or the new trading card game. Did you see this? There's like a Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah. I remember talking about it with you at some point whenever I
don't know if it's out or not yet,
but
I think
it looks cool, I guess,
but we haven't even checked it out yet. Again, this is all related. This is all related. So do you think kids today, Landry, will look back on, let's say, Fortnite as fondly as we do Mario 64?
I think there's definitely going to be some fondness associated with it, but I actually think about this because Fortnite is an ever-changing game. And World of Warcraft was kind of the same way, but
yeah,
I don't see people revisiting those experiences the same way that I'm able to do with Super Mario World or Donkey Kong Country or Super Mario 64 as often as I want. And I find myself going back the most to the Super Nintendo games. I probably play my favorite Super Nintendo games like once a year at least, whether it's I'm going to fire it up and play a level or I'm going to fire it up and play through the whole game. But man, like you can't do that with Fortnite because when you play it 20 years from now, it's going to have evolved into something completely different, Yeah. And also the player base will have unquestionably changed, and you're going to feel like I feel when I pop into Fortnite, which is like extremely weird.
A very old man, and you're like, what is happening? Where am I supposed to go? What does this thing do over here?
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got a bunch of like 10-year-olds yelling at you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be a different experience for them, because a lot of kids today are playing these social game experiences. And what we grew up with was still social in a way that people don't talk about enough. Like, even if it was a single player experience, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, those were very social games for me, because they came out when I was in like 8th grade, and I had friends with the same games. So we would go and talk about them, or, really in trade secrets and stuff like that. And they didn't come out when I was in 8th grade. Let me scratch that. I played it when I was in 8th grade. That was like 6 years later, but
still,
that's
when you remember playing it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think you raise a good point. Like, I think you can look back on things fondly, not just because of the content itself. It can be because of a period of time that you kind of existed in, and when you were playing said game. So like for me, I think Matt and I talked about this a while ago on our like nostalgia podcast, but it was this idea that like I'm sort of nostalgic for Animal Crossing, New Horizons on the Switch, which only came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But because that was such a distinct time and place, we were all experiencing the pandemic together. It felt like a completely different world. And New Horizons was this like weird little life saver that was like tossed out by Nintendo to like, hey, here is.
Yeah, that was such a charming and wonderful experience. And again, social experience for us as well, because I remember texting you and Matt and Mark about turnips way more than most people would.
And then Mark realized that I was gaming the system and hacking and like doing like the bell cheat or whatever, where like I was changing the time on my Switch. He was like, I can't believe you.
I was like, dude, if you don't mind, can you pop some of those over to my island?
I remember visiting your island and just like leaving like a bag of like maxed out bells. I'm like, here you go, buddy. That's for you.
Incredible.
Go buy yourself something nice. So to your point though, do you think that like shared gaming experiences are more impactful than single player experiences?
No. In short, and especially for me, and I do think it's different for different people, right? Like I'm an introvert. But I also just love like analyzing and critically thinking about things, and I can't do that in a shared game experience. That doesn't mean I don't love shared game experiences. Like some of my favorite gaming moments ever are with Super Smash Brothers, and I'm terrible at that game, and it's not a game that I like pour hundreds of hours into like some of you dweebs do.
Okay,
but
whoa.
I'm just kidding. I have like 750 hours in Breath of the Wild, but I don't play that game a ton, but some of my favorite gaming memories are just with, hanging out with friends and being on a 4-player match and getting pulverized, but also laughing at whatever else is on the screen with everybody else.
Yeah, like, see, I'm a little bit different than you, where I think that shared gaming experiences are, okay, maybe not more impactful, but they may create like more lasting memories, or like be more closely tied to maybe, I guess, what that feeling of nostalgia is. Because I had 2 brothers, and so one older, one younger, and so our whole shared experience was video games. Like that's what we all bonded over. Our older brother would rent something, and we would all just watch him play it, or I would get something for like my console that I owned, which was either the 64, 360, or GameCube at that time. And so like any Nintendo game really I covered, any like PlayStation stuff my older brother covered. And so we got to like sit down, and like I got to watch him play Final Fantasy X for the first time all the way through. He got to watch me play Metroid Prime all the way through. And I have these like super fond memories of those games. And I think they like the experience was only heightened because we all got to share those moments together and like the surprise and like finding the secrets. It's like, oh yeah. Whereas like now, if like me, Breath of the Wild was majorly impactful. Like that first opening sequence still blows me away. But
right.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to like put myself 10 years down the road. Like, will I be looking back on my experience with Breath of the Wild the same way that I do with like my experience with my brothers growing up?
Yeah, and
I don't
probably
know.
not. Those are core foundational memories that, and I guess I misinterpreted your question because I was thinking more like shared multiplayer experiences.
Mm,
But yes, I do think that like as far as my memories, a lot of my memories are tied to having other people in the room with me playing single player experiences.
mm-hmm.
Or like I remember being in middle school, being on the phone with people while I was playing Ocarina of Time, trying to get a friend to like coach me through how to get around the guards outside
That's
of
awesome.
Hyrule Castle. Or like I remember playing The Last of Us on PS3 for the first time and bringing my PS3 over to Ryan's house
Mm-hmm.
like at like an absurd hour of the night, like at 11
You gotta
o'clock,
watch this.
just because I was like, dude, you have to see this. This is insane.
Yes.
And like those moments are extremely impactful, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's true of any experience really. I think doing something by yourself has its own merits and there's like a maybe a different sense of accomplishment there, but I think in terms of like the joy you might experience of the feeling of like it being this exciting thing is only heightened when you get to hopefully get somebody else on the same wavelength as you. It's like, are you excited about this as I am? Are you having as much fun as I am doing this?
Yeah.
Cool. We're both having a good time. I'm having a good time. Like it just like Hannah and I did like we played through The Last of Us. I played through The Last of Us. She watched me play the whole time, but that's like a fond memory for us too because she wasn't super into video games when we first started dating. And I was like, you
Right.
should probably watch me play this one because it is like a movie from what I've heard. It's my first time playing it too.
Oh,
So
cool.
it was like super tense the whole time. She was like watching me play and like reacting like we were watching a movie. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that's so
know.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, the only Breath of the Wild memory I have from the first time I played it was like the second day I owned a Switch. I went over to Jeff's house and we just played together. Like I was playing on the portable,
That's
he was
awesome.
playing on the TV, and we probably played for like 3 hours straight. And that was a sick moment. So
Breath of the Wild or when
just
it
Breath of
first
the
came
Wild.
out? Yeah,
We were both playing it, but like I had the Switch in my hands and he had it on the screen. So
that is awesome. Yeah, dude. Jeff. I think I saw him beat. I'm pretty certain he beat Majora's Mask like 100% in college. Like I just sat on the couch and watched him play that all the way through.
oh, nice.
Yeah, he was like, I was like helping him with like guides and stuff every now and then if he wanted it. I was like, okay, I think there's a mask maybe like over here that we have to go find. I don't know.
That's cool.
And sometimes he'd be like, shut up, don't tell me. I'm like, okay. Last thing. I think we've pinned down some key elements of like aging with gaming and where the major pillars of our experiences are at. But are we just old, Landry, and we're no longer in the demographic for video games?
Dude, I think that we are still in the demographic for video games. I actually probably am like about to age out of like what they would categorize as the actual bracket because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like 35 to 25, which is cool. But I still think that like our age is what they're shooting for because we are still the demographic that is buying the big hits. I think me and you are pretty similar gamers. It's like if there's a super critically acclaimed title, every few months we're probably going to pick it up, whether it's day one or within that like 3 to 6 month launch window.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a pretty substantial pool of gamers that are like that a lot of these companies are targeting, especially like your AAA, PlayStation's, Ubisoft's, EA Sports, or not EA Sports, but EA single player campaign stuff.
EA Sports.
So, I think we're still there, but we're hanging on by a thread. And I do think the industry is shifting. I think we're starting to see some of that. I think that, it's been unsustainable for a while. and we're finally starting to see like, oh crap, like this is all crumbling around us. So we'll see what it looks like in 5 years, man. I don't know. I can't see it taking like a drastic shift, but
yeah, we're not going to see a huge risk yet. But I do think we'll hopefully start to see some diversification of experiences, less live service, less big budget blockbuster, more.
I think that honestly, what that's going to look like is more. I think if you take a trip back to the PS3 or the PS2, it's going to look more like that, where you have these companies. Same. I think it's going to be awesome. Throwing out like these huge AAA projects that are going to take 5 to 6 years, but there's going to be another, probably more games are going to come out in that like Astrobot range, where they're 3 to 4 year development cycle. They're still going to look nice, but they're going to crank them out. They're going to be 20-hour experiences, and you're just going to hope for a lot of those to hit. And I think that that's going to be, those games oftentimes are the ones I look back on the most fondly, like the Super Monkey Balls, the Crazy Taxis, the Astrobots, those games that like, by no means are they the most marvelous technical achievements. Like you may not think of them as the first game when you think of a console, but at the same time, like they're just fun, They
make up they're part of the whole, the sum, whatever that saying is. Like, the Sly Coopers, the Ratchets, like Ratchet and Clanks,
and
like
that's exactly what the PS4 and the PS5 missed, in my opinion. Is like those memorable experiences outside of the margins of like Uncharted 4, Last of Us 2, God of War, Spider-Man. Like where were the games in between to make that console a console that I kept coming back to? Like the PS4 is the same thing as the PS5 for me, and it's a console I turn on like once every 2 months, unless I get really invested in a game like Astrobot.
Or like once this month to play Dead Space, which we'll talk about.
I played Dead Space way more than once this month, but dude, I couldn't do it.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I love that. And yeah, here's the hoping that we see more of that. But I'm leaving this conversation encouraged, not discouraged, understanding that like maybe I just need to have more big group hangout nights where we all just come over and play games together, and it's like more of a social, fun hangout time.
I think, and I also think that like something you're going to start experiencing is what I just started experiencing like in the past 3 months. And that's when your kids can start to play games with you. You get those social experiences in a different level. And it's so fun to see them have that childlike wonder.
Oh yeah.
All over again. Like Astrobot was such a fun experience because Sawyer was literally like laughing or cutting up right next to me the whole time, whether he was watching or playing.
I love that.
And it was super fun. And now in like preschool, he's like drawing pictures. He's like, look, Daddy, it's Astrobot. It's like just a square, but it's still so cute.
Yeah. It's just a square. So proud of you, buddy. Looks really good. Yeah. Henry is starting to like recognize he liked Astrobot a lot too. Watched me play that, and he I forget where we were, but he saw something that looked kind of like Astrobot, and he's like, "Is that Astrobot?" And I was like, "That is not, but good eye. It looks kind of like him." I like that. All right, man. Well, let's jump on over then to Game & Watch.
That was a great Animal Crossing voice. I'm great. Let's roll. Dude, you have so many incredible voices you can pull out of your hat. That was like pitch perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll do my best. I'll try to get into voice acting after this.
Good idea.
Guys, let's take a look at what came out this month and what's coming out next month. So October's report card. Landry, do you want to walk us through these?
Yeah, we had Silent Hill 2 Remake on the PC and PS5. It came in at an 87 on OpenCritic. Dragon Ball Sparking 0 has an 82 on OpenCritic. Metaphor Refantasio has a 92 on OpenCritic.
Oh, yeah.
Neva, one that kind of came out of nowhere. I've actually had my eyes on this one for a while. 87 on Metacritic. Really nice score there.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Party Jamboree came in at like the most positive 81 I've ever seen. Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven at an 82. Good for Matthew. Sonic X Shadow Generations came in at an 80. And Dragon Age The Veilguard came in at an 82. It's a very positive month. Everything in the 80s here.
Yeah. All great games came out this month. With the high of Metaphor, a game that I do want to play that I just know that I don't have the capacity for right now.
Yeah. If I can play video games in eternity, then I may play Metaphor.
In eternity.
But otherwise, I don't have a shot at getting through that.
I remember texting you guys saying, I wish that I existed in a world where it made sense to buy Mario Party. And I forgot to tell you all, I did buy Mario Party.
Oh, nice. Have you played anything on it yet?
Yeah, so Hannah and I have played 2 games so far, just
cool.
She and I. But we got the game because 2 of our other friends got it and texted us and were like, hey, do you guys have the new Mario Party? And I was like, no, what are your thoughts? And they're like, yeah, it's a ton of fun. Joe kicks our butt and like makes it not fun. And I was like, so what are you implying that we should buy it so we can play it together online? And they're like, yes. I was like, okay.
Nice.
We have yet to do that, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Take the plunge, dude. You know you want it. You'd been talking about it. And how's the single player? Have you seen anything from that?
I haven't started single player yet. Only done just 2 standard Mario Party boards. The boards are cool, and I like the rule sets where you can speed the game up and you can like make it go a lot faster. You can play pro mode, which eliminates a lot of random chance and stuff, which we haven't tried yet. But
dude, Liz loves Mario Party, so maybe we should all get together sometime. And
I bought physical, so you can at least borrow the copy this time. So
sweet.
There you go. But yeah, I also had Dragon Age The Veilguard on my Fantasy Critic, and it seems to be getting good reviews for the most part, but maybe not what fans were really wanting to see from this series.
Yeah, I kind of think that Dragon Age games came out at a really convenient time. Personally, I can't help but think that those games were a little overrated, but I know they have their big fans.
Yeah.
I think the new one looks really, really good, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the art style. I think it's interesting, and it's at least the most approachable to me, because I saw the combat from the previous games and I was like, oh, that looks really like not for me. But this one is more action based and a bit more fluid and forward, and maybe not as dense as they want it to be. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah,
I could check that out. So yeah, October was a good month. Any games on there that you're like, maybe?
I mean, I would like to get Sonic X Shadow Generations, but only at like $20 and under. I may like to play Neva at some point.
That's the Gris or Gree developers.
Yeah, and I never played that one, so I don't know. And then I definitely want to play Silent Hill 2, but I don't want to play the remake, and I'll talk about why in a second when we talk about Dead Space.
Let's do it. But before that, let's jump over to November. So for November, I'm pretty excited about this first one. We have Mario and Luigi Brothership, the I guess successor to the Mario and Luigi series that last released on the 3DS. So this is the first foray into the console generation for this kind of game, and I love those games for the most part. I haven't played one of them maybe, but I've always enjoyed them. They're kind of like the next natural progression from Paper Mario, at least the first 2, the GameCube one and the original N64 one, that are more turn-based and action combat. So I like that. That comes out on November 7th on the Switch. Tetris Forever comes out on the 12th. I don't know what that even is, but I like Tetris.
I'm pretty sure it's a collection of like Tetris NES and like Tetris 3D and
okay, so just a bunch of Tetris. Let's go.
Yeah, a bunch of old Tetris games.
That's great. Dragon Quest, that comes out on the 12th on pretty much everything. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake comes out on all modern consoles on the 14th. Lego Horizon Adventures comes out on the 14th for PC, PS5, and Switch. And then Microsoft Flight Simulator is slated for the 19th of November, and that comes out on PC and Xbox Series X.
Dude, super stoked for Dragon Quest 3. I don't know that I'll be picking that up this year because I just don't have time, but I will play that at some point in my life.
Art style looks great. I'm sure it'll be fun. I have it on my Fantasy Critic. I swapped that out for my unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer that I was hoping for this year. Not going to happen.
Oh, cool. Good for you.
Yeah, I got something at least to get some
honestly,
points.
I thought about picking that up, but I didn't think we could do remakes, and so I never went for it.
You fool. But yeah, November's looking a little slim right now. I'm kind of hoping for a little
slim pickings,
little early Nintendo situation where they maybe drop some more games for us. Who knows? But
dude, the only thing I could see them shadow dropping is like a Zelda 3D All Stars, but they weren't going to do that because of that sort of mid Zelda game we got. I can't even remember the name of it. Echoes of Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom. Oh, come on! You've already forgot the title.
This is a very forgettable.
You're about to make everyone so mad. That sort of mid Zelda game we just got. Oh,
sorry,
man, Landry. No,
I spent a lot of time playing that.
I didn't buy it, so
yeah, I know. And I won't say you made the right call because it's Zelda, and I'm a complete fanboy. So I'm still going to work my way through it. But man, every time I turn it on, I don't have fun.
You don't want to. You're like,
by the way,
I should beat this because I need to, but I don't want to.
Exactly. I was going to say you forgot to put it on the report card, but that was September.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump over then, Landry, to Game of the Month. So, if you guys aren't aware, each month we choose a game that everyone plays, hopefully something widely available, and we'll talk about it on the show. You're not required to beat the game, just give it a play and see what you think. This month, because it's October, we chose Dead Space Remake on PS5, and it had just come out on PS Plus. So we hope that you had a chance to play along with us. Landry, I took away our highs and lows, and I just said thoughts instead of doing that. So I'll go first, if you're cool with that.
Go ahead.
I beat it in around 12 hours. I switched from a normal difficulty to easy midway through because it's too scary. And
it's so scary, dude. I was like I was not expecting it to be as scary as it was.
So scary. But it is an excellent survival horror game. Like I said to you guys in the chat, this feels very much like Metroid Prime, just very, very scary. Weapons feel great. Story is kind of interesting with a few good twists here and there. The main protagonist is just a piece of bread, but that's fine. Yeah. Enemy variety, I feel like, was a little weak as you progressed. There's about 4 enemy types, really. And I just kind of got tired of being on the ship near the end. This is kind of where my rant is going to go, but I want to hear your thoughts before I speak any further.
Yeah. So I played Dead Space back on the PS3, and I always consider it to this day like one of my favorite PS3 games, which is like a console just full of banger games. And I remember it being an extremely tense, extremely scary game. It was one of the first survival horror games I'd ever played. It may have been the first survival horror game I ever played. I can't remember one before that. And I just thought the story was captivating. And this was at a time where like blockbuster story games were still kind of new to the market. I'm pretty sure this came out right after probably Uncharted, before Uncharted 2. But the story was really good, and you're kind of uncovering this story about what happened on the ship, which is a cool mystery to solve. But you're also starting to learn about the protagonist's girlfriend being involved with the story. And then there's like this weird church involved with the story that's been messing around with certain things. So I found like that to be engaging on my first playthrough. But what these remakes have done, like Resident Evil 4, and Dead Space Remake, is they've just ratcheted up the realism in these games, the intensity, and the graphics, and to me, and the gore, absolutely. And although the first one, like that was its thing, it was like a super gory game.
Okay,
but still, when it's not like so graphically intensive, it doesn't hit the same way. For me, it just isn't as fun when it's more realistic. I prefer the PS3 version. I actually put it on just to be sure. And first of all, it still looks great. But it's just not nearly as like, I don't know what the right word is, but like enthralling or as captivating as an experience. And because of that, it's not as scary, and it was more my speed. So the remake is just a little too much for me, is basically what I'll say. And I don't think that Dead Space is a masterpiece. I think that it has some incredibly masterfully designed elements, like the fact that the UI is basically entirely on Isaac's character. That is really innovative and like incredible game design. I think that the levels are not particularly well designed. Personally, I don't know how you felt about that.
Yeah, a lot of backtracking, a lot of just like, go here, do this, go here, do this. Oh, it's broken. Go here, do this.
Within each level, yeah. Like there wasn't a lot of like interesting level design, you know, and the ship does get boring to explore after a while.
Yeah, I think, okay, so I'm glad you kind of spoke about that, because I'm in the same boat. I, at the very end, realized that like, I just don't want to immerse myself in something that's this dark, or like just like this continuous sense of dread. I felt like what it was doing to me, and like I would play it, and when I turned it on to easy, turn the brightness up, and like just kind of wanted to gas through it, like that made the experience far less stressful or like bad for me. But
it's also not fun anymore, because it's like that was my problem too, because I put it on easy mode. And I even texted the group chat. I was like, I just can't, like right now, I'm not in the mood for that intense experience. And this is also, I want to, in Dead Space's defense, this is a game I may get in the mood for in a year or two and come back to, but I have to be in the mood to play these particularly like dread inducing experiences. And also, it just wasn't like, I don't know, the rewards weren't big enough for the intensity level. And Resident Evil 4, even though the remake is way too scary in my opinion, it's still got that campiness, you know. Dead Space does not have campiness. It's very serious.
Yeah, RE4 at least there's some levity and like some unseriousness with like the giant fish monster in the lake, you know, and launching giant cannonball or like catapult flaming balls at you. Like there's some silly moments in that game. They're like, what is happening?
And like normally, like I like monsters, like, but somewhere along the line with our monster design, we got like when there's like all kinds of like contortionist like limbs that are broken and like everywhere, and there's blood all over the place. It's just a little too much for me, man.
Yeah, I felt kind of the same way. I really appreciate. I think what this game does really well is kind of like put you down a linear path where you may see something and you're like, oh, I can't unlock that yet. And then the game intentionally sends you back to that same exact area later, maybe like a few hours later, and where you can actually get those unlocks. It's like, oh, now I have the rank 3 clearance where I can open this chest and I get this new power up or a new gun. That was all good. I loved the anti-gravity sections where you got to kind of jump up and fly around. Like I feel like those controlled relatively well. I only upgraded the plasma cutter. Like I only focused on that gun and just kind of maxed that out as much as I could. I used the flamethrower and the pulse gun, I think is what it was called. Like just a shotgun that was like a wave of like kinetic energy that was kind of cool.
Right.
But what I'll say that's like a critique is like, again, the level design, you said it was not great. I feel like they did a good job with the space you're restricted to. I mean, you're on a ship. There's only so much you can do there. You're kind of trapped.
That is true.
But they have like an atrium that has like all this plant life. They do send you out into space and like these different broken areas. There's like a cryogenic area with like frozen stuff. There's medical labs. Like they try to change it up a little bit as much as you can on a giant spaceship.
You're right. I think the confines of the ship, to me, the game just needs to be shorter if you're just on one ship. Like there could have been a little tighter. And I know 12 hours is a pretty tight game. And a lot of critics would probably lambast it for being like an 8-hour experience, but I think this would be better suited for an 8-hour experience, personally.
I think you're right. I really do think like the game is pretty tight as it is, but I think if it would hit closer to like 8 to 10 hours, it would just be it would be I would think more well received because you could do more in that time frame that is less drawn out, and it feels like what you're doing is worth it or intentional. Like, I mean, again, this game sends you back to a lot of places, and it's always the same setup. It's like, all right, Isaac, I figured it out. Go here. And you go to this place, and then, of course, you don't have what you need. And it's like, oh, crap, you got to go down this scary hallway that you definitely don't want to go down, but you have to go down there because that's where you got to go.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, we're doing this again. Here we go.
Yeah, dude, when he was like, you got to go to medical, I was like, oh, bro, I'm not going to the freaking medical ward. That's ground zero.
Yeah, this is not going to be good. So overall, my time with Dead Space, I kind of left feeling like I'm done. Like, I do not, like, I know now that I'm just not into this kind of game, or at least I'm not into it right now. And I feel that way kind of about The Last of Us Part 2. Like, I can kind of push my way through, but that's not a game that I want to go back to for the same reasons. It's like, this is such a dreary, depressing, dark, and violent game. And it's just like nothing that I don't want to immerse myself in that. I want to be happy, joyful, having a good time. Not stressed out and just seeing severed limbs and heads and dead bodies everywhere. I mean, like, the amount of death in this game is also overwhelming. Like, there's people that have killed themselves everywhere. There's just dead bodies littering the ship, like with sacks over their head. You can stomp on them and their limbs come off, their ribs start showing through their skin, and you're like, oh, okay.
Lots of squelching. Yeah, not a big fan of the squelching noise. Yeah, so for me, I think this is a well-crafted game. I don't, I'm not going to sit here and say that, like, if you don't like survival horrors, you won't like this game. You will. This game is an amazing survival horror game.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a 3 out of 5. I think it is a good game in the survival horror genre. I do not think it is a groundbreaking achievement in the survival horror genre. And for me personally, I would probably advise people like me and you to just stay away from it.
Yeah, just don't play it. Well, hold on. Out of 10, what would you rate it? I know you rate things differently if you have 10.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, my math does not work.
It's not a 6 out of 10, or maybe it is. Maybe it's okay. I don't know.
No, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd give it an 8. I think this is a great example of a survival horror game. It is beautiful in gross ways, and I think the remake really brings to light a lot of the grossness and horror and scary things. So yeah, if you like that game, it's gonna be great for you. But if you're like Landry and I, and you don't like scary, gross, disgusting stuff, I don't know. Maybe don't play it. So we'll see.
And like, for the record, like, I love Alien, and I think this movie is really this game is similar to Alien, but it's kind of like Alien, but like we said, like more bloody, more violent, more intense. So that's trapped. Where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, Alien, you're trapped too, but like
Alien, you're trapped, but it's 2-hour tight experience. I would have enjoyed this game if it was 2 hours and tight.
I was too scared to play it for 12 hours. I don't want to feel this way for 12 hours.
Again, loved the PS3 version, and I think that one's just dialed back a little bit. So.
Yeah, not as disgusting, not as scary. Well, that is why for next month, we are going to be playing Kena Bridge of Spirits. I'm really excited about this game. Dude, I've been wanting to play it ever since I saw it, and it is currently available, I think, only... Well, hold on. Let me see where it's available at before I commit to this.
Pretty sure it's on Xbox now, but it was a PS5 exclusive for a year or two.
Let's see. Yeah, it's on everything, it looks like. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, GeForce Now, and Microsoft Windows.
Cool.
So yeah, it's on Steam too. This game looks beautiful. It's like kind of your traditional adventure action game, more simplistic, but I'm very into the art style, and I look forward to playing this one with you, Landry.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I'll come back with some more complex thoughts. This is my type of game. I've already played about 2 hours of it, and enough to know that this is one I'm going to really get into. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm excited. All right, well, let's jump into our last segment, Name That Game Music. It's time for our final segment, Name That Game Music. The hit game where I play music from a video game and contestants earn points by guessing the correct game and moment. Was that your clap for yay?
Yeah. It was audience clapping in the distance.
Yeah, Landry and I, we actually both participate in this game. We both picked two songs. We have had varying success the past couple of months, but we got 4 songs to go through today. Landry, do you want to go first or me?
You go first.
All right. So I'm picking, you labeled this Bossy Music 2 or
Okay.
1. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's nice. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. Look at the field.
I have no idea what this is though.
Really?
It's so sick though.
Shocking. It's way better than I remember it.
I'll take genre, please, first.
Platformer.
I knew it. Freaking, this sounds like Mario Odyssey to me. Okay.
Oh, man.
Landry, is this from Mario Odyssey?
No, it is not.
Son of a pants. That's -5 right there. I got 10 points.
It's okay. It's okay.
Could I please have... We should treat this more like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you can pick whichever hint you want.
Do it, man.
You don't have to go in the order.
Get you back to 15.
No. 5 points, -5 for wrong guess.
Okay.
Landry, could I please have the first initial of this game?
In. Do I need to give you the first initial of every word?
No, just the first initial of the title. N?
Correct.
As in no way. I'm getting this game.
Oh, dude, just rack your brain, bro.
N. All right. I'm going to go for broke here and just, what's the console?
Wii.
Oh my gosh. And is this New Super Mario Bros?
It is New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Okay. No idea what level it is, though. I could not tell you.
It's the main menu music.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right. I knew it was like Mario. Like it felt like Mario with the clapping, and it was just catchy and fun. Okay.
Dude, I do not remember that song going so hard, but that's pretty sweet.
0 points for me, but that was still fun. All right, Landry,
and
are you ready?
You had played that one, right?
I've played New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but it's been a minute.
Same.
Been a minute. Okay, here we go.
All right.
First one's going to be a little tough. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yes.
Dude. Okay.
What you
That's
got?
very familiar.
What you got?
Is this a rendition of a song in Smash Brothers?
It is not. I thought you were going to take your headphones off for a second and like throw them across the room.
Just throwing them straight into the camera.
No.
Is this from a Legend of Zelda game?
It is not.
Okay, I'm toast.
Do you want some hints?
Yeah, give me. How do I ask for a hint again?
It's like, whose line is it anyway? You can just pick whichever one you want.
What
genre, console, or first initial. This is N64.
Oh, man. First initial.
P.
Son of a gun. Son of a gun. I thought it was Star Fox for a second. It is not. What even starts with a P on the Nintendo 64? Perfect Dark. But that's not Perfect Dark. It's not Perfect Dark.
What even starts with the P?
I have no idea. I'm trying to look at my carts here.
Look at your cheat sheet. Hey, that's cheating.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You son of a gun.
So, is there another hint? I just kind of want to guess, and I'm going to get 0 points. But
yeah, I think you already had 0, but you can still guess. I'll give you the genre, which is kind of tough.
Okay.
RPG. Party game? I don't know.
An RPG party game? Come on, man. Just give it to me. I have no idea.
This is Pokemon Stadium.
Okay. So I never had a shot.
And that is that's like the Versus theme that plays like when you're getting ready to like battle your buddies.
Okay, cool.
Dun, 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 dun. You're picking your Pokemon out and stuff like that. Good job by
you. I actually have played that. I can't say I've never played it, but I did not grow up with it. I probably played it one time in my life.
Dang. We're getting into recesses. We're trying to like pick games that we haven't played. We haven't played in this game yet. And now there were so
many familiar licks in that music. I should have been able to pick it out.
Yeah, that is a song that's reused, I believe, in the other Pokemon games.
Yes. When you said P, I just wasn't even thinking about Pokemon being on.
Sorry, man.
Console. All right, no problem.
Okay, well, we're both 0 for 0 right now. We're looking really good.
This next one's hard, too, so this is not...
Great.
It's going to be great.
Can't wait. Thanks, Landry. Here we go. And hold up.
I love this song, though.
Hold up. Oh, I've definitely heard this.
Yeah, you have.
Son of a pants. That's it? That's all I get? Oh.
This is what, when you played the baseball theme, like it was right at that transition. I was like, ooh.
I've definitely heard this before. Son of a gun. Oh, it's Zelda. Okay, there we go. This is from Twilight Princess, no doubt.
Yes, very correct.
But what part is it from? I mean, I'm assuming this is like you're either in the desert or it's like a mini game where you're like having to do something on a horse or like something like that. You're wrangling, you're wrestling. This isn't Link's bow training. Link's crossbow training.
It's not Link's crossbow training. It comes from Zelda. But you could argue that crossbow training was inspired from this level. So I'm going to have to give it to you for that one. This is the in the segment called Hidden Village, where you've got Link and you've got the arrows,
targets. And you're trying to pop them all out. Yes.
Great. One of those segments, if you played that on the Wii, where you're just like, dude, this is humming right now.
Mm-hmm. So how many points do I get for that? 10, 5? Huh?
I just said yes. You just said 5. I would say you got 20.
Dude, you're being generous, but I'll take it.
You didn't ask any questions.
Right. I'm a genius. Okay, thank you.
Congrats.
All right, man. This one I think you can get.
All right, let's see it.
And I have a lot of nostalgia around this one, so that's not a hint. That's just...
well, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Who knows? Ready?
Who knows? It could be Chameleon Twist.
No. I don't know any songs from that game. There's no way. All right. Here we go.
Yoshi's Story.
That is correct. Do you know what part it's from?
Sounds like the main menu.
You're correct, Landry. That's an easy 20 for you right there.
Let's go. Let's go. See, I didn't know you played that as a kid. That's a good game.
It's like locked in my memory because we had just moved from Memphis to Ohio, and we were like living in apartments with my grandma, and she bought us this game to like play at the house, and that music just like lives in my head rent free.
Dude, it's a fun song. People make fun of it for being horrible, but that game, there's like one other game that I've ever played that is the same style of game, and I've grown to love it as this tiny little 2-game genre. DuckTales is the other game. It's like arcade platformer. Like you're just going for a weird high score, and it's a short 5-level game, and you see what your high score can be, and it's pretty great.
The levels in those games also really weirded me out in Yoshi's Story. Like I tried playing them more recently, and I got halfway through the game, and I was like, these levels are crazy. Like they don't make sense sometimes.
Yeah, the one in the cave that has like 1 million paths.
Yes, dude, those freaking really dragons keep popping up.
No, the dragons are cool.
I hate those guys.
Yeah, I played that through for the first time, maybe when it came to NSO for the first time. And I played it all the way through. I really enjoyed it. I was shocked at its negative reception, to be quite frank.
I don't know what people wanted at that time. It could have just been that it was
not a Yoshi's Island 2. And I thought Yoshi's Island, I feel like that game is overrated. So
yeah, I don't like chasing after Baby Mario when he gets hurt. You know,
so annoying.
I'm like, that's the worst part about that game. And this one doesn't have that. You just toss your eggs and whoop butt. You just go.
Yep.
Follow Spike around, the dog. Is that his name, Spike? What's the dog?
That sounds right.
I don't think it's Spike. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyways, good job, us. We both tied for 20 points each.
Hey, dude, we're at 1 hour, like almost on the dot.
We did good.
That's the lowest we think we've ever been.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're doing great today. We crushed this episode, man. But unfortunately, all that is the end of our podcast. Listeners, if you're able to answer, how do you feel about gaming and just aging with it? How's that going for you? Let us know by writing into BitCast at bitbloggist.com. Landry, as always, thank you for your time, my friend. Is there anything you want to plug or anything coming up that you're
Jake,
excited about?
I'm excited about everything, but no, nothing in particular. It's going to be great. I turned 37 in 2 days, so excited about that.
Yeah. Halloween's coming up. Let's go. Yep. How does it feel to share a birthday with a holiday?
It's great, man. As an introvert and somebody who doesn't like to be the center of attention, I always can hide behind something on that day, which is wonderful.
Not anymore. You're my friend now. I'm gonna show up at your house, trick or treating, like fully dressed in costume. Are you gonna dress up this year with your family or do anything or no?
Well, I am dressing up, but yeah, I'm going to be a pirate, just like a standard, basic pirate. Nothing, no fraz. But my son is. Have you heard of the show Boba? No, it's on Netflix. It's like Boba. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like this little Yeti man who just destroys things, like a kitchen or a library.
This sounds not very educational for kids.
It's not. They're like 3-minute episodes, and my kids belly laugh at this show. They think it is so funny. And it's kind of like Tom and Jerry is basically like, but with CGI. There's a little mouse that runs around. So Sawyer's gonna be the mouse. Whitman's gonna be the little Yeti guy.
And you're a pirate.
And I'm a pirate because it doesn't. That's just like my go-to costume, you know.
Okay, so I'm glad you said this because I'm in that same boat now where like it was either we all theme our costumes together or we just kind of go solo on our own and just kind of be what we want to be. And this year I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of doing the themes. Like, I don't want to be freaking Paw Patrol or whatever he's into. Like, I want to be what I want to be. So I'm going to be Hot Rod or Andy Samberg from like the movie Hot Rod.
Oh, nice.
I'm making my costume right now. And I think I'm just going to make that my costume for every year going forward. Like I'm just going to just wear the same thing every year. So
there you go, man. I love it.
The crappy mustache to go with it. So it's going to be great. All right. Well, until next time, y'all, this has been BitCast. Thanks for tuning in to talk about some stuff.
For my mark.